What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Vinny D. Call of Duty Xbox One weekly leaderboard recap. Guys, obviously we're very aware of what's going on with the leaderboards and the boosting and glitching, account cloning, account copying, whatever you want to call it. Last week I had mentioned it was getting bad. Now, obviously, with the double XP, nothing was fixed, and this week just turned out to be a disaster. So, as we could obviously see, these accounts are being copied over, stats are being copied over, and then compromised, sold, whatever you want to, whatever they're doing with them. The leaderboards has turned out to be a actual classified ad for, selling accounts. So hopefully these accounts get locked down and, they're there, but they're basically going to be scrubbed out. It's sad what's going on right now, just for the fact that I'm not sure if this is going to be Sledgehammer, Microsoft, Activision, but it's going to be hard to just stop and reset these stats or clean this up. So I'm hoping for the best, but I'm prepared for the worst. That's why I create these weekly leaderboards for you, and I started in the beginning of November was so that I knew if something like this would happen, I had an idea on who the true leaderboards, who the true top 100 should be should this happen, and that's exactly what happened. So if you're looking now, I'm just going to go over this real quickly. It took me like, I think the number one, this guy right here, I want to be fat kid or something like that, at 1086 is actually ranked a legitimate 100, believe it or not. So I had to go over 1086 players to actually find the top 100. So you guys do the math, it's not hard to say. 9 out of 10 guys are actually on a glitched account or a boosted account, however you want to call it. That's pretty sad. Anyway, let's hope this gets fixed up. Guys, I had mentioned that I created a website. Yes, I did create a website. It's still being built. I wanted to show you guys a little bit of a demo this week. The upload portion of it's complete. This is what a true leaderboard should look like for the guys that have been here since the beginning in November. Every week, I extract the stats either on Sunday night or Monday morning. And then from there, basically, I'm able to upload them and show you exactly without boosters, and show you exactly how it should look like. I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an idea on how it's going to look. Obviously, this more of a modern soldier will be removed. It'll be more of a World War II background. You'll have your dates here. Every week as we move forward. Every week as we move forward, these numbers will change. So just to go over a little bit how the leaderboards do look like. This was, let's say, for example, a first week. These stats are not accurate. I need to upload my lists. So let's say I move into the second week or the third week. Okay, I'm just going to give you a little bit of how things work. So here you have, your slots of 15. You could change this from 16 to 30. You could even sort it by 1 to 100. Okay. I've been showing you guys through Photoshop how it's been looking, and I told you guys once the uploader is ready, this is how it's going to look like. Current ranking, overall leaderboards, okay, without boosters. So let's give this an example. This is a while back, probably a month ago. The Doom account was 1, MadTV was 2 back then, Zycam was 3, anyway, so forth. Here's our positions. This is the previous rank from the previous week. You guys are aware of how that works. Basically, Zycam was 5th the week before, now he was 3rd. His change obviously is trending upwards. His name, the WB, which I think is very important, maybe not for the top 10 guys, but for guys that are between 50 and 100. It's how many weeks your name has been in the top 100. Now, I see a lot of guys coming into the top 100 and are flushed from the top 100. Very hard to hold ground. Maybe not for the top guys. MadTVs, the Scudze, they're going to be around till the end, fine. But if you're somebody who's sniffing the top 100, you crack it and you move up as opposed to falling out. It's a special feat. So as time goes by, if you are able to hold ground in the top 100, this will go up. So as you can see here, let's say Scudze. When we started, he was in the leaderboard on top 100. Now we're into week 3. His name is still there. Let's say Angry Outsider, when this started, his name wasn't there. He's only been there 2 weeks. So you guys get the drift. As weeks go by, this will go up. If you fall out of the 100 and come back in, you're reset to 0. That's just the way it works, and that only makes sense. For the total score, SPM, games played, time played, this is your total score, okay, on exactly how the stats look when I extract them. And what it does is it compares from the previous week. Okay, so let's take a look at the Doom account over here. It would say, okay, let's say right now he's at 15 million points. He actually jumped 2.7 million score this week. So in a week, 2.7 million points. So it basically compares to the previous week. The SPM, he's currently a 456. Last week he was a 462. So as you can see, his SPM actually went down for this week. Same with games played. 6,197, let's say. He played 1,159 games this week. Okay, so it'll look at last week, it'll compare. This guy played 1,159. The times played will be squeezed into here. It'll tell you exactly how many days that player played in a week compared to his overall. I just haven't put that in here yet. It's just because I need to make sure that how this thing looks on mobile, guys. I need to squeeze it a little bit, so that will be added there. So I thought that was a cool feature. So instead of going back, obviously you have your weeks to go back and look exactly where you were on that current week. But what's cool is to see exactly if somebody's gaining ground on you, you know, you'll see by the total score. If somebody's boosting, you'll also notice it. I mean, once I pumped the numbers in, if you see somebody with 3 million, you know, a 3 million score and 100 games played or something, it's obviously clear that something's not right. So I thought this is a cool feature, something that they should actually do officially. But now that I had the stats and I was able to, you know, make that work, I think it's something that you guys will appreciate and look forward to. You know, what guys ahead of you, guys below you, see exactly what they're doing, how many games they're putting in, what kind of points they're putting in. And this way you'll know exactly how much you need to play, how much you need to pull away or catch up, whatever it is. All right, let's jump into the leaderboards. This should probably be live in the next 2 weeks. I'm dying for it to be ready so that I could stop manually doing, you know, running it through Photoshop. And this way it's going to be all automated. And, you know, once the new game comes out, the old one will remain. So it'll always be online for you guys to take a look at. Let's jump into the leaderboards. Obviously, like I said, you know, 1,100 players this week. I had to go through and sort out the top 100, but when I was done, you know, it pretty much evened out to where we've been in the previous 6 weeks. MadTV just pulling away, like I mentioned last week. They're not going to stop. They're going to run the show till the end. I doubt anybody's going to catch them. Actually, nobody will catch them already. They just keep pulling away. The Doom account seems like it's idle. There was only 7 hours put on it this week. Could be because they duped over. It could be that it's done with it. So I expect Scudze actually to pass that account, which opens up the gate again for MadTV just to pull away. So again, this was only 7 hours put in on the Doom account here. One big thing here is we've noticed the Zychem account is actually gone. So I'm not sure if he was part of the account cloning, if he boosted, what happened, but I think his account was dropped or bounced down to 500. Opening the top 10 for other guys to jump in. So unfortunate for him, but that's the way it is. I guess his account's gone, and that's actually not even through me. That's through the official leaderboards. I know there was some suspicion on Green Marine over here that somebody had brought up. I did look over his stats, and it looks basically normal. It looks like he jumps 30 to 50 levels a week. SPM hasn't really changed much. So again, you know, this is not a channel for finger pointing. It's really to give props where props are due. And right now I don't see anything looking over his numbers to say otherwise. So he's gonna stay on board. He's been there from the beginning also. So I needs, you know, for me to pull somebody to the top 10, it needs to be clear cut that there's something fishy going on. SiCK ELLOOOO over here, who, like I said, he was, you know, in the 30s. I think 3-4 weeks ago. Now he's up to number 8. He cracked the top 10. So props there. And that's it for the top 10. You know, the usual names going back and forth. This is obvious. The pulling away is happening actually now. I mean, you could see here, you know, but when we look at the top 100, I think it's down to like 6 million. Slowly but surely, the numbers are starting to sparse out. So the top 10 are locking in their position. If we look here from 10 to 30, I want to bring up Kainalu CF, who has a high SPM, level 445. I did my digging and I can't seem to find anything that makes me think that this guy is, you know, boosting, cheating. He could have done it before. Again, I can't really harp on that. I need to move forward with my numbers, but his SPMs look around where they should be. You know, his games looks like he's either playing hardpoint at CTF. You know, obviously this is a big game here, but I mean, it's nothing really dramatic. I went back to really look. Usually when somebody's clear-cut boosting, you will see somebody with like a 200 kill game, or, you know, 250 and 2 deaths or something like that, but this all seems legit. So for right now, I mean, he also has not been trending crazy upwards. Usually if somebody's going to boost or cheat, or it'll, you know, move up quickly and then just, you get greedy. That's basically what happens, especially with the level 1000. You just get greedy. There's no way around it. So that's for him. Right now he's gonna stay. First Street here is a new to the board. I think this is a name change. Who was GS Flat last week, so he's here at number 17. It was the exact same stats. GS Flat's gone. I was like, guy couldn't have dropped from 20 out of the 100 even if you don't play. So I kind of figured out by looking over that First Street was a name change. Just thought I'd bring that out there. Another guy who was knocked out of the top 30 was Z Infantry. I noticed he was boosting. I saw some numbers. I was like, no, this is not realistic. I went back, took a look at his some of his games played, and exactly on a CTF where he like went 203 or something like that. It's like, okay, he's out. So he was there for a while. Again, what's happening now is everybody boosting, cheating, copying accounts, trying to race to the 1000 mark. It brings greed into guys that want to get there, and I keep mentioning there's no rush. You're gonna get there. I mean. I blame Activision for this. I think that it should have been a Master Prestige. Let it sit at Master Prestige. Let the players enjoy a couple of months and then open up for the level 1000. It was just done too quickly where right off the bat it was the race to 1000, and I think that's why a lot of this mess had started. If it would have been like step by step, I don't think it would have had the same outcome, but there's no turning back anyway right now. So that's it for the top 30. From 30 to 60, I mean, again, the same names. I had to go through the 1100, but I'm starting to recognize the names here. The same guys here, either going up or down. A couple of jumpers over here is, Creased, who was ranked 62, is now at 37. Nice jump there. Xero EU, 41. He was 59. And at 43, Oswi Noble was a 61, now a 43. So guys to keep an eye on. Those are three names that, almost a 20-point spot jump. That's nice to see. At 47, XJJ1, this is our highest non-ranked to jump into the boards. At 47, he currently wasn't in the top 100 last week. Now at 47, so something to keep an eye on here. Again, when somebody just creeps into the top 100 with a big leap, I will have my eyes peeled on them and take a look and see exactly how their week seems to trend, if they're legit or not. Again, greed always kicks in, guys. So that's how you end up seeing, you see trends and see how things happen. And another one here who has jumped in was Night Gambit, who was actually ranked 99 and is now at 53. So another guy to keep an eye on. Level 174, 325 SPM. I looked over it a little bit. 2 days played, 60 levels, so he's good to go. From 60 to 100, this is where by now the guys drop out, guys come in. This week we had, I think, 16 changes, which, on average, it's around 18 a week. So that's why I'm saying I know that the boards, despite all the boosting going on, what I've been doing is still healthy, because there's 20, which means things are still on par, guys. You just need to sparse out the junk. And that's why I create these videos for you, and the website, and keeping all these stats. So 60 to 100, we have 16 from the changes, in and out. Some of these guys here, that World War II GOAT, like a lot of these guys were in the top 30, and I'm starting to, when I do my stats and I look over, I'm like, man, this guy's down to 60, 70, 80. Like, it's funny how times, some guys, the grind, whether it's the game, they just quit on it and they don't put as much time in. But the names that were in the top 20, top 30, I'm starting to see them in the 70s and 80s and even 90s and out of the 100s. So a lot of the new guys come in and push, which is always normal. And most of the guys that jump in are between 80 and 100. So if you guys are looking at your stats and you're like, oh, well, right now it's hard because of the account boosting. But if you notice that you're in the 1300 range on the official leaderboards through your console, you know that you're sneaking around this number here between the 80 and 100. The 80 to 100, you've got like 12 of these guys here that weren't in the top 100 last week. So that's normal. Guys coming in, guys dropping out. I mention it every week. And that's it. I really hope that these boards somewhat get fixed, or at least make my life easier. It'd be a lot easier, a lot cleaner looking for you guys, sorting through your names when you put in time and figuring out exactly who's behind you. Because right now you might have a boosted account that's like right behind you, and little do you know, it's like the second guy on your tail is 20 or 30 names down. So that's it for this week. Again, I do my best to make it as accurate as possible. And again, this is all about historical data. I want to have something, as I mentioned through the website that I showed you, I want to have these weekly numbers there for, for a year from now, 2 years from now. You could always go back and say, hey, my name was on there. Whether it was 1 week, whether it was for 52 weeks, my tag was on World War II as a legitimate player in the top 100. So that was what the goal of this whole channel, the whole website. And that's what I hope to keep going forward on. Obviously, it's a little bit of a choppy road right now with the how the leaderboards are looking. But hey, man, you guys grind in the game. I got to grind on this side of things and keep up my good work. So if you haven't yet subscribed, please do so. Comment if you have any info. Let's help support the channel, guys. I do my best to keep it tidy for you. And again, I should be bringing you that website shortly. I just got to make sure everything is legit and not glitched out when I upload everything. And hopefully, again, in the next 2 weeks, it's gonna save me a lot of time, and the videos will be a lot more interesting. We could actually look at numbers. So until next week, have a good one. Keep up the good work, keep up the grind, guys, and I'll speak to you in a week.